Hey guys, welcome back to DMAC Customs on the YouTube over here. Dave here in the garage. Windows, side windows. Last week, the last video was actually 2 weeks ago. I did the templates for the side glass and I was away last weekend and I actually took the templates in and the price was right, so I got the side glass cut. So today's adventure is window tracks and hopefully putting the glass in the sides. I haven't done anything about the windscreen or the rear screen yet, but so let's get at it. Okay, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel, it'd be awesome. But anyway, these are my window tracks and stuff, and so I had those in for the mock-up of the regulators and the templates and all that kind of thing, and I pulled them back out during the week after we got back and pulled what was left of the window setting tape or whatever was in there, the original rubbers, which was like, you know, she was pretty, that's the best bit, had still some flex in it, but yeah, everything else was brittle, like dry putty. And yeah, as you can see, there's rust and stuff going on. These window channels are not in great condition. I've already kind of been in and scraped out all the rust and wire brushed them and stuff gently because they're pretty thin across the bottom at the ends more than anything, and put some of this CRC rust converter liquid in them. I did that last night just to kind of get it a bit ahead so I can finish, you know, doing some work on these. What I'm intending on doing is, I mean, that one there's all swollen and that as well, so I mean, I'm gonna just give them a hammer finish with some of that, really just to kind of seal them up as best I can. They're not, like I say, they're not in great shape, so there's not a lot I could do with them other than try to rebuild them or replace them. And at this point, I haven't actually even looked at replacements, so I'm not going to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to seal them up with some hammer finish and that stuff there, just to kind of keep the rust from progressing as fast as it could do, if you know what I mean. But bear in mind, these are 73 years old or whatever it is, 72 years old, 73 years old, I think. So, you know, they're all right. They just need a little bit of medication for the arthritis, if you know what I mean. And but yeah, so that's all we'll get ahead. I'll get those rattle canned and then they can be drying while I go and entertain myself and do something else, because we're gonna I'm gonna urethane them in. Right, now there's two schools of thoughts on that. One saying don't glue them in, don't glue your glass in, sort of thing, not like modern cars, it's different, Setting tape would not hold the glass in these, I don't think, because they are, especially some of them, they've got no sideways tension anymore, they're that thin. So I'm just going to kind of glue them in. And if I ever have to take that glass out of these channels again, that's when I'll investigate new channels or replacement channels or building something that to work, if you know what I mean. Know what I'm saying? But at this point, I'm just going to glue them in. So I mean, the actual mounting tabs, they're fine, these parts here, there's nothing wrong with those, but it's just the actual channels. A couple of them are a little bit better than others, but you can see there's, you know, daylight through there. Where the weight's supported is under here will be fine. So this is the worst one. She's pretty crunchy, but there's not a lot I can do about that. Fixing it, don't have the tooling. If I had the right tooling, I could probably make something, but I haven't. Or if I had the time and the money, I could probably hunt around and buy something. But at this point, we're just going to paint them and glue the glass in and see what happens. So I'll set about getting these painted and then we'll be back. Okay, so that's all those reconditioned, loosely reconditioned. But yeah, as I said just before, my purpose is to seal them up, not kind of repair them at this stage. I think once they get a kind of big gob of mastic in there as well, that'll hopefully kind of seal up the inside part of the track. But hopefully this won't be living outdoors and in a snowy, wet, rainy environment either. So unless I end up homeless living in it. Could happen yet. But anyway, so I'll let them dry and then we'll figure out the next step from there. Hey guys, so it's next day and these are all dry. They've got longer to dry than I was anticipating. My plan was to film 2 videos at the same time, but the next video, which will be next week hopefully, kind of absorbed my whole day and didn't really pan out how I was wanting it to. So I'm waiting on some supplies coming to finish that particular part. You'll just have to wait and see. Did I wreck it? So what we're going to do now is stick these tracks onto the glass. So I've just got to get all my hanging wires and sort out my lefts from rights and fronts from backs and things like that, and then we can set about gluing these in. Might give them a little bit of a clean or just a rub with my thumb. It should be alright. I'm just trying to decide whether I need to run around the edge with a bit of a sand. They're not sharp, but they're not smooth either. You know, I don't know whether my instructions to the glass folk were particularly clear, and I didn't really know what I was asking for, to be fair, either. So I wonder if I should do that. Let me think. Okay, so you probably can't really see that easily on the camera, but these have kind of got a kind of sharp edge and sharp corners. Possibly, yeah, like I said, my lack of knowledge of what to ask for when it comes to getting glass cut. They're not sharp, like you wouldn't cut yourself on them unless you put some real pressure on it. But so I'm just going to whip around them with the old DA just to kind of take that edge down, and hopefully it'll make them a little bit run smoother in the channel with that as well. You know what I'm saying? So wish me luck. That's better, I reckon. Just don't have that sharp edge. There's already a chip out of that bottom corner, but that's going in the track. Anyway, so next step, I've got to figure out my left and rights and pair them up with one of the tracks and have a go at gluing them on and see how that goes. But figure out exactly where to glue them on, so I need to look at the old glass just to kind of get a bit of an idea for where the tracks will sit on that bottom edge. There should be a bit of wriggle room, like, you know, for example, left to right, you know what I'm saying? Like, see the track's a little bit shorter than the actual glass. I'm pretty sure I can just centre it, actually, looking at, so come over here and look at the old glass. So the old glass, actually I probably should have rounded off those corners a bit more, but you can sort of see where the track kind of sits. It's kind of quite close to the edge, but maybe about less than half an inch away from the drop down, you know, the side. So I mean, if we centered that in there, we should be pretty good, I reckon. This is my template, so make sure my glass didn't grow in the manufacturing process. So yeah, so it should be alright. I pretty much can just, yeah, gotta decide which way to go, that way. So if that's the back of the door, so that one would have to go that way. So I didn't paint over my markings of what was what for the most part, so that's the right door. Hang on, have I got that right? It's the front, it's the sharp corner. Yeah, so that would go that way. God, brain fade today. And then that's the outside, so that's the outside. I might get a pencil actually and put some marks on here. So this is right outside. So then this one, in that case, will be opposite, so that'll be left, out. Okay, I think that makes sense, maybe. Anyway, got to get some mastic. Alright, squirt some of this into the track. This probably get messy. Right, now how do I go about this? Should I just hang it over the bench? Need some tape, get some tape. Should have actually. It doesn't come up the sides as much as I would have liked. Yeah, we're looking for trouble. Just using a little bit of terps, to mineral turpentine, just to kind of smooth that over. Right, I'll find somewhere to put that. I wouldn't mind leaving it standing up somewhere actually, just to, for it to go off, but I don't want it to lean on this. I'll figure something out. The other one, it's already blown the back out of this. These things suck. I had a panic moment, suddenly I thought I'd stuck the track off the rear quarter on instead of the door track, but no, this is the door track. Even coverage in there. That'll do us. Hospital grade clean. Okay, so one last confirm, this is the left out. So that's the front. According to my arrow, that's the front. Let's do it. I'm not going to do too much cleaning back on that one. There's kind of a bead sitting there and I think that'll be fine. I'd rather just leave it be rather than risk making a mess. Sweet, go and put this away. Sticking on the track onto these rear quarters, it looks like they're maybe about 15mm from that straight edge. Yeah, it's about the same on both sides. So I've got this one all ready to go. So if I marked it, so that's the front. Hang on, I'm confused. I've got to put the camera up there. So this is the right outside, which is that. Like that. So that's front like that. So that's going to go about there. Alright, so that's one side glass rear done. I'll go and find somewhere to stash this and then we'll get the other one done. Okay, let's go. Okay, so just got those stacked up there vertical. I'll leave them for a while. Working time on that stuff is supposed to be fairly shortish. Next up I've got to do these vent windows, or quarter windows as I like to call them, which I've got over here. So I'll sand up the edges of those, and I already took a chunk out when I was test fitting them in there on this one by all accounts, because I found the piece of glass on the ground. There it is. I'll put that in the rubbish bin. See, took a chunk out of that. It was good. Now after my experience with not having a lot of control over the mastic when I squirt it into the channel, I might actually mask all this, mask it all up, so if I do get any squeezing out, I'm not going to make a mess of this paint, and hopefully be able to clean it up a bit easier, which is going to be a pain, but it's probably better than having, you know, squeezed out mastic, because it doesn't clean up terribly nice. It tends to just smear around all over the joint. So I might set about masking these up and yeah, and look at gluing those in. Exciting. Just had to get the old garage door down because I was looking straight into the white sky. Is this gonna work? That's that one toast. Lucky I have a backup. It should be alright, I reckon. Maybe. Alright, let's do the outside. That'll do us, I reckon. Alright, I'll go and do the other side. It's not a pretty mask, but it's enough to kind of keep the worst of the mastic off the important stuff, I think. Alright, so given the edges of these a bit of a sand with the old DA, and I should actually mention that in the next video the DA shits the bed twice, and this morning I fixed it, so we're a bit out of kind of time with my some of the things that have been going on, sort of thing, just because of yesterday's debacle, but hopefully we'll be able to kind of get that all dialed in. I want to give these a bit of a dry wipe as well. So I guess next I'll go set about squirting some of this stuff into these windows. I have test fit this glass in there. It does fit-ish. it's snug. So I think hence the chip in the glass that I got. You know, I wasn't even hammering it, I was just kind of like manoeuvring it. But yeah, we'll go about gluing them mamma jammers in and see how we get on. Okay, maybe not so tricky. That's pretty much it. There's a bit of squeezing out up there. I'm wondering whether I just leave that to dry and maybe see if I can trim that with a kniffy. We'll see what it looks like when it is dry. Oh, there's a light. Yeah, it's only squeezed out in a couple of places. Okay, so that's that piece of glass in. Now I'm just going to give it a bit of a clean up, see if I can get some of my goop in that off that I've just smeared around all over the place. I actually did do a little bit of that on the other side. I might have to go and revisit that. I just spotted something that looks a bit gooey over there, but we'll yeah, give these a bit of a clean up, then we'll hopefully by then our other tracks will be cured up enough that we can start maybe looking at putting the side windows in. Might give them a little bit of extra time and go and have me a cup of Java and yeah, kind of give them the best chance they've got rather than leaving them for like a day, because I'm just too impatient for that. So I'll clean this up. Check it out. Glass in the windows, hey? Well, in two of them anyway. So that's those two quarter windows glued in. I'm just going to leave them shut for now, just to help kind of bed these rubbers in. They're super tight to get shut, and I think it's just the thickness of the new quarter window rubbers, you know what I'm saying? So I may have to open them to get this door glass in, I think. But yeah, it's got glass in it. It's like, I was a bit bummed out. This one's actually got a couple of little scratches in it, and I didn't realise, and I don't recall doing them, so I've got a right to be upset about it. Whereas I'm probably going to scratch the the door and side glass getting that in, and then it'll be my own fault. So then I can't be too upset, you know. So well, I can be upset about it, but you know what I'm saying. I don't remember doing that, so I can be upset about it. Anyway, I'm going to go and have a cup of coffee, and then we'll be back at installing some of this side glass and door glass and stuff. Sure is. Hey guys, so had my coffee. It was good, thanks. What am I doing? Looking for a knife. And rummaged around in here and found all new screws to hold all these tracks onto the regulators. Since I only had a couple in each one, so I need all of these. You need those little nuts washers as well, I suppose we do. I think that's what they're for. Get these out of there. Those ones, these little star washery things. Sort of stuff that's never in any of the nuts and bolts shops anymore. But so I've just got to check that these actually do fit. I don't know how I'm going to keep these on without them falling off trying to install this, but just make sure they fit. This is really awkward. Yep, they're the right size, so I'll get me 4 of those. Open that up again. Something I was thinking of doing is actually taking those 2 screws out to give me a little bit more. So I've got a Phillips screwdriver. A little bit more movement that way if I need it just a touch, you know. Oh, yeah, I have got a screwdriver. I've got a handle. I need one of them. Alright, where's the glass at? Where's the... I want to have that down, I reckon. I may have to take this regulator out again. Yeah, so that'll give me a little bit more wiggle room that way. See what I'm saying? Alright, let's try this. For now, so I can have a rest. Stressful. I've still got to get the little tabs on the bottom of the window track to hook into the floating track, is what I'll call it. Where is that? It's going to come over that. There we go. I think we're good. Yeah, just got to get the screws in there and we're good to go. Might need to get one in at the top there and then we'll bring it back down and get the second one in. There's inside these little things here. I'm going to get a screw in there and then we should be able to wind the window back down and screw the bottom ones in. I think. you can see in there, those two screws there, they just screw into the bottom of that tab. So just got to get those in over this side. Oh, I probably could get both of them in here actually. So just got to do that. Oh, why didn't that want to go? Maybe I'll bring it down. Get that last one in there. Put these back in. And then I've got to get the bottom of that track through there. I don't know about the adjustment of that, whether we're in the right sort of ballpark. I think we are. Pinch them back up. Right. Glass in the front door. You boy. Now this is going to be tricky, I think. How did I do this? Off the template, did I come in? I really should have reviewed my footage. Do it this way. Remember, that's the problem. Okay, is it in the track? Yes, it is. Okay, so that's supported now. So if you have a look in there, it's just supported on top of that track that it's got to get screwed into at the moment. So I just got to get my stuff together, being as my shit, and flick that over that rolling track, so then I can drop it into this area here and then screw it in. So do it. Oh, got my finger caught. Alright, do it. into position. Come back just a bit so I can see the screw holes. Find my screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, boy. Glass. Yeah. Okay, so don't want to be a whinger, but totally stainless. Need to get some folk who can count. So these are all the little screws, machine screws to replace the factory ones. I don't even really need to replace them, and you know, but here we have them. Now the little star washers that come with them, we've got enough to do 2 doors and 1 back window, and then not enough to do the last one. So like, my point is, if I had paid for this kit myself, which I did in a roundabout way because it came with the car when I bought it, I'd be kind of a bit kind of miffed that there's all these things that are just not quite right with it, you know, like in this case 4 short, you know, there should have been what, 16 of them altogether, so there was 12, you know. It's kind of like, but 16 machine screws, but just get it together, like Totally Stainless and the aftermarket industry in general, because it's a hassle. Like if you didn't have any of these fasteners that you could kind of go back to your second-hand ones and like rummage through and find something that would work, you know, you'd be running around all over town trying to find something equivalent when you've already paid for it once, if you know what I mean. So you kind of, if you know, you stumped up $500 for a full stainless nut and bolt kit, and it's like a 95% stainless nut and bolt kit, is that 5% of extra time and effort you have to go to kind of run around and find all the things that you need to match the rest of it. It's a pain in the ass, and it's expensive because you kind of got to go all these places and they haven't got it, so they suggest somewhere else, and so you go to some other place and then they haven't got it either, and then you end up back just around the corner from your house and they have got 3 and you need 4, but they can get one in for you by Tuesday. And so you have to go back there on Tuesday to pick up 1 washer or something, and then they charge you courier fees. But anyway, so we'll carry on. That's enough of a whinge about that. I'm just saying, you know, if you're gonna promise an item, a product or service or whatever, deliver it, you know, don't half-ass it. Just saying. Anyway, let's get this one in. So I'm going to take those out. I think we've already got the track undone back here, yep, and get this glass in, hopefully. Alright, let's go. Where is that? Oh, I need a handle. That. Yeah, boy. 4, 6, 6, 6. Hey guys. I don't know where I was thinking. I was daydreaming while I was waiting for my GoPro to catch up. That's all the glass in and done, and everything opens and closes as it should. It's given it all a bit of a clean, but still a bit of soft mastic and that around those vent windows, quarter windows, that I will clean up once it's kind of fully cured a bit more. Last thing, both barrels, that I need to do is I need to make a new kind of bump stop, like for there. Is something I didn't factor in when I templated up all the glass. I actually could have made it bigger, but I did think about that, but I kept it on the narrower side because ease of getting it in the shorter gap. If I'd kept full-size glass, you probably could do the door glass without cutting it when you chop a roof on one of these, maybe. Oh no, the angles change, that's right, disregard that. But I kept it a little bit on the thinner side, like shorter side, to get it in the door easier. But the downside of that is now that bump stop for the track is too far away, so I need to make some kind of doohickey. I need to make something to stop the window winding down too far at this point. So I'm going to measure that somehow and figure out some way of kind of relocating that rubber stopper up a little bit higher. It's only 2.5 inches, maybe 3 inches at the most, sort of 60-70 millimeters. So that being said, I'll grab a measuring device and investigate. Put that in there, that's a good idea. It's going to be tricky. You on? Yep. So yeah, if I make, it's only about 55 millimeters from the top of the rubber to the stopper. So if I make something, how am I going to do this? Why don't I just take that stopper out? Yeah, so we're about, it's hard to gauge because of the way that raises up, but we're about 65 millimeters, which is 2.5 and a bit inches. So 65 mil. So if I make something at 60 and allowing for that stopper, and the window's sitting about where I want it. So if I make something at 60 millimeters, and then the thickness of that stopper, that's about 5 mil. We should be good. But what to make, I'm not sure yet. So I've got an idea. Basically, I'm just going to make a kind of channel shape sort of thing. So it'll be just a pedestal like that, just an extension, and the stop will go through there, and then I'll just bolt it through to the old stopper hole. You know what I'm saying? So it'll just be a couple of bits that's flat bar, which I haven't got. So I'm just going to cut me some, this is 1/8 inch, and cut a couple of strips of that, and then we'll fold it up, drill some holes, and get that in there to stop the windows coming down too fast. I need to make 2 of them. So that being said, I'm making about that wide, which is not 30 mil. It's the width of a ruler, to be fair. Cut these and then work out my lengths and that from there. So I just got to work out where I'm going to do my first fold, which will be about there. So I'll fold probably So I've got to fold those. Do I use the press? Probably should actually. What I've got to figure out, oh, this is what I always cock up. Like I measure, I don't know how much you lose to the fold. You know what I mean? So how much to do, to subtract from my thing. But anyway, we'll give this a bend up. Alright, so now I need to do another one to give me that 65 millimeters, but I'll go and check it in the thing, in the car, in the door. So that's gonna sit roughly around there, or the other way. I don't know whether it really matters. The other way, that bumps on a bit of a angle though, which could impact things a little bit. So I've got to, allowing for my about 1/4 inch for the rubber. Go that way. I'm thinking if because I wanted 65 millimeters, if I sort of measure 60 and then I don't know, it's making my brain hurt. So if I measure 60, look at how that kind of rounds. It's hard for an ignoramus like me to know what that calculation is. If I go 60 and fold it here, will that give me roughly my 65? I don't know. I'll try one of them anyway and see what happens. If I go 60 on the outside, do an internal fold there and have a look. Yeah, see that? Closer to 65, that might even be too big still. I'm going to have a look. Okay, so I don't quite know where I was at with recording. I just had a visit from my brother-in-law and sister, but yeah, if you can see that, it ended up being too big. So that was measuring off at, I think it was 60 millimeters when I want it to be 65. Yeah, so I need to fold it lower to be able to get it to the height I want. So I might try straightening that out and see how we get on. So, where did I mark that? So I'm going to bring it in at, I did it at 60 before, so I'm going to go 53, go a bit more conservative, 53, write that in there, so don't forget. And we'll try that. Might need to knock it down a bit. Alright, so yeah, putting our stopper up in there, looks like we've got about the right kind of gap for our bump stock, so 53 millimeters it is. Right, I'll go and do the other one and then we can cut this up and drill some holes and stuff. I don't need that long side on there, so I'm just going to eyeball it, take about that much off. That'll do us. Okay, so if I make holes of about 8 millimeters, top and bottom, we should be good. The only thing I didn't really think about with using a heavier, like 1/8 inch steel as opposed to the inside of the door being sheet metal is, will my little thing pull through and grab hold of it and stay in there? I'm not too sure. Hopefully will, but you can only try. Right, so where am I going to put this? Yeah, that there. Just had to get a bigger drill bit and just kind of open up that just a little bit, so I've got like a little ledge in there that can pull through onto. So just got to do the other side. So I haven't bolted it in fully, but that's my plan, you see, is to just have that sitting in there, so when you wind the window down, it'll just only go as far as that, and then that sits it just there. So might just pull those back out and squirt a little bit of etch primer on those and call them done. Alrighty, so check it out, that's it all bolted in and stops it right there. Probably can't see that, but stops it just on the level, just like that. So that's about it. That's that little task complete. Side glass in. Window winder just fell off. Hey, check it out. My brother-in-law came around today and gave me this little slip roller. She's a bit rusty on the rollers, but that'll still work for the sort of standard of stuff I do. And also I picked up a little plasma cutter from him. He was no longer using it, and yeah, so I bought that off him. I don't really know how to use them, but I will endeavour to have a little play with it at some point, and you guys will probably come along for the ride. If you haven't subscribed, it'd be awesome if you could subscribe, like, share, comment, hit the notifications bell if you want to get notified. Chuck a comment down below and let us know where you're from, what you're working on, that kind of stuff. That's because what the internet says I should do to help promote my channel. But as always, thanks heaps for watching, and until next time, take it easy and peace. Done. Side glass. Woohoo, look at that, it's starting to look like a car.